that's James's meal. You can see the violets are blooming, so he's getting violets in his yogurt. And I have a salad, my usual kind of one, and a smoothie. I'm gonna talk about the last stop in Yuma County. And a few of these other things. So I guess I should actually show you the cover of this one, because we're not talking about all of them today.
No.
We're talking about this one, this one, and this one.
Yeah.
And this one we still have to watch.
You have to is the key term.
Well, yeah, I don't know how it'll be, because
Yeah, the first one is actually quite good.
yeah.
Second one, and the third one, I just finished watching it. Pauline's
I fell
watched
asleep.
most of it, but she fell asleep for an extensive period.
Breezy. I'll show you. See my little embroidered thing? This is the only reason why I still have this shirt, is because I like these embroidered little.
It's very nice little touch, yeah.
Yeah. But I've had this shirt for a long time. This pants or shorts I've had all the way through my 20s. I've had them for a very long time, but I haven't been able to wear them in a while because I've been bigger. But now I fit them again, and I'm very happy that I do. So I'm dressed for dinner, and you may say, oh, well, that looks pretty casual, Pauline. Well,
we're kind of casual folks, aren't we?
I suppose. And it's dressed for dinner for me, because, well, I'm wearing a belt. I can't do this normally. And I don't know if I can even, I used to wear these shorts all the time. I don't know if I could anymore. It's just the way it is. When you have back problems, you just, you're happy with whatever you can find to work, right? So, and you don't have to eat that macaroni. You could just, the dogs could eat it. And then you could eat all of the good stuff that's actually healthy for you.
Yeah, I'm just eating what I can get down right now.
Okay.
My throat is bothering, or self is bothering.
All right, well, I didn't know really where I should put this Francois Truffaut collection, because
It's all over the map.
it is. And plus, like the French Connection, it was perfectly watchable. But I think The Wild Child was actually better than the French Connection. What do you think? And more important.
Way more important, although
So,
the French Connection is an important thing, but the
certainly.
movie doesn't deal with it.
No.
Probably.
So anyway, the French Connection apparently was a very popular movie in its time.
The car chase scene, okay,
1971.
spoiler alert, car chasing an L, or
yeah.
maybe the L's only in Chicago, but whatever, the elevated railroad. Light rail transport.
Yeah, and James said that The Man Who Loved Women was actually popular. 1977.
And or Notorious,
Boy, that was
or whatever.
Terrible. So, anyway.
120 minutes.
About that.
It wasn't excruciating, it was just boring.
Just boring. So boring I fell asleep. Now, maybe seeing some nipples at that time was pretty exciting for the audience. Maybe seeing
More than nowadays.
a hint at a threesome with not very much more than that.
Well, Mick
Maybe
Jagger's
that was pretty
performance
who cares?
was 1968 or 69, many years before.
Okay, well, I really have I don't know why this was. Anyway, we'll get to that. So, last stop in Yuma County. This was a surprise. James didn't get to watch it at all.
I've never even heard of it.
No, neither had I. But
is that down in Arizona or something like that?
Why, yes.
It is there.
And
just showing off my geographic.
I would like to go see it, because I would like to travel down there, but honestly,
but not live there, and we'd want to visit in the wintertime, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I haven't been out of Canada. So, I mean, I love Canada. I love all the nature here, and we have a very short summer, and I love to be out in it, so.
Yeah.
And frankly, I don't believe that if you leave Canada for the winter, especially for anywhere from anywhere in January, February, or March-ish, but if you're gone from Canada, I don't believe you're a Canadian citizen. Either you tough it out or enjoy wherever you're from.
That's the way I feel about Canadian hockey players who go down and want to prefer to play in Las Vegas or
tough it out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so that I haven't made it down to the States, even though James says, yeah, we'd go in the winter.
Well, we'd visit there, but
I'd feel like I was not a Canadian if I did that.
It's the snowbirds I don't like. The people that go down there and stay for 4 months or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to visit places, and you can't be scorching yourself up.
Yes, you're
especially
right.
if you're not used to the climate.
So anyway, we'll see if I ever make it there. But my dad always wanted to go to the sequoia and redwood forest, and I've always always wanted to go to the sequoia and redwood forest, and I haven't made it yet. And my dad never made it. He died. And I feel bad about that. And I keep thinking about it. When I think of my dad, I think, well, I really should go because he never made it. And, well, I have an old camera that he gave me. And I believe that when I'm taking pictures with it, photographs, then he can actually see what I'm seeing. So I should do that before I can't get film for that camera, so that he can actually see the sequoia and redwood forest. But anyway, so last stop in Yuma County. Yesterday, Patricia Arquette series, the Act, which had Patricia Arquette in it, got top of the stack. And today, one with her brother just had a little cameo role, David Arquette. So he's not even mentioned on the box or anything like that. But
he had a career, but not anything like his sisters.
No, he's not there. Yeah, it's surprising because I like him too. Mm-hmm. I think he married Courtney Cox, didn't he? And I think the relationship stayed together.
I hope so.
I hope so too, because I think they'd both be nice people. It seems like, but I don't know. Never know. Anyway, I think Patricia Arquette would be a nice person too. But anyhow, so this movie, you expect, okay, well, some things are gonna happen, right? There's tension, and there's people forced into a spot where they can't leave, and so you know something's gonna blow, right? You're just waiting for it to happen. And honestly, once things do happen, you feel like telling the guy, no, do this, make sure you take everything with you, and don't, or whatever. And so that they don't know that there was another person sitting at that table, or they don't know this, or they don't know that, right? Or try to cover up your tracks, and then nobody will even know you were there, kind of thing. But yeah, and then from there you go, well, I guess it had to happen this way at the end, and it's just the way it is. So I don't know if a person would feel happy about that at the end or not, or like me, just like, such is life. So anyway, it's not like he's a terribly great guy either, but not terribly bad, just things happen, and there would certainly be regrets, but fortunately, anyway. So, very entertaining. I watched this while working out, and so great. I really loved it. So I think everyone should watch it. So, this one. I guess James will talk about these two. So there you go. Because he watched more of all of this stuff than I did, to be honest. So I'm going to move the camera in so that it's not getting blown around as much, because it's still getting blown around where I put it. And I'm going to eat some dinner.
Anyway, I'd heard about the case that's dealt with in this first movie, The Wild Child. I think there was a book called The Wild Boy Avignon or something. No, it's not Avignon. Avignon or something like that. And some of that book might have been true. It's based on an incident that occurred beginning of 1789. Some hunters, I guess, discovered this guy. Boy, I'm not sure the age. Maybe somewhere between 11
Who
and
could
13.
know?
Yeah, exactly. Who they figure had been abandoned and left to die, frankly, because they found scars all over him. They looked like animal scars, but I think they counted 15 scars, but there was a 16th, and that was the throat. So the parent or parents responsible slit his throat and left him to bleed to death, but somehow or another he survived, and what's even more amazing perhaps is he survived out in the wild. They were figuring he'd been left out when he was 3 or 4. I think that would be a significant underestimate. They figured, you know how you figured out that maybe the Opie's name was Dopey? Or, no, the guy, his owner, previous owner, figured that
No,
out.
he didn't. I
No,
didn't.
you figured it out. Anyway, yeah, he was trying names out on the dog that he'd adopted and that we later adopted off of him. And the dog kind of responded to Opie, and Pauline figured his original name was Dopey, because sometimes he behaves that way.
No,
Sometimes
that's not why I think it was Dopey.
Okay.
It's because one of the dwarfs is Dopey and he has big ears.
He has big ears. Okay.
And so I figured that Opie had been bought, he'd been cared for by a kid. Probably a little girl, but who knows. And named by that kid.
Okay, I'd forgotten that detail. And maybe it's because I kind of think Opie is sometimes behaves as though he's Dopey.
Well, because he's like the wild child of whatever
we
that
were figuring
age.
they didn't deal with it. We figured it'd have to be interesting. He'd have to be house trained, so they didn't deal with that. Anyway, it's quite well done. It's done in black and white, and it's done in a kind of retro fashion. It was put out in 1970, but it looks as though it could have been filmed in 50 years before, like 1920 maybe or something like that. It does have sound.
Yeah, they did a great job.
At the beginning.
It seems like they're like as actual events. You know what I mean? And the kid did a great job too, because it seemed real.
I think he did. Yeah. So it shows how this one guy, he's played by the director Francois Truffaut, is trying to raise him. It seems kind of cruel. His housekeeper seemed a whole lot nicer, but you know, I think he was trying to be cruel to be kind, because when he was captured, he's being treated, wild child, he's being treated like an exotic animal or something like that. And kids, of course, had a great time teasing him and whatever. So if this guy hadn't helped him out, he would have had more troubles than I'm sure he ended up having. I'm sure it was difficult for him all the way through. Like walks out in nature, just like a dog or something like that. Second one, a small change, had problems being mainly about kids. And they generally there was a brother, and they were actually played by brothers, AC and the Green. It's just, there they both of them. They actually did a pretty good job, those two brothers, at different age. I don't think they were twins. If they were, they're definitely not identical, because there was a difference in size. But some of the others, kids, had some troubles. So I can barely remember what the show was about, I've got to admit. 104 minutes, that's pushing it. What is that? That's an hour and 44 minutes. For him, for this director, I think it's a problem when he gets above an hour and a half. I'm hoping the last one we'll watch is within his limits. It's 94 minutes, so that's an hour and 34. So we'll see. The Man Who Loved Women. Wow, that's 2 hours, right on the right on the button, and you feel it. You feel it. When you read 120 minutes, you know, like it feels more than 2 hours perhaps, when it's that many digits in the number or something like that. I don't know, I think it was the guy who loved, well, it's like the guy who lusted after women. He's a writer of some description or another. I guess he's writing a novel. And eventually he submits it as called The Skirt Chaser, and Pauline said, yeah, it's a better title for it. And then when the representative of the publisher said, well, that's not good enough or whatever, then he came up with The Ladies' Man, and she turned that down. And then she's the one who came up with The Man Who Loved Women. Well, Skirt Chaser is better. It's the man who lusted after women or something like that. It could have been called Death of a Ladies' Man. That's the title of one of Leonard Cohen's albums, Death of a Ladies' Man. I don't know.
That's a good title.
It is, exactly right. And it has an amazing cover. It's got Leonard Cohen sitting between two women. And one is looking kind of as though she's privileged to be there. The other looks really, really funny. I'm telling you, I don't think I would have allowed my image to be used that way if I'd been that second woman. And Leonard sitting there with this kind of sweet attempt at innocence on his face. He was a scoundrel, that guy. I don't know, not much on looks, but not bad looking.
Yeah.
He wrote a song about Janis Joplin, and he has her saying to him, she said she preferred handsomer men, but for me, she'd make an exception. It's probably fairly true to life. That's a great song. It's very sad. Although, this is the way it ended in the original. That's all. I don't think of you that often. But he did it live later on, and I don't think of you that often, or something like that. My little darling, he said, or something like that. I don't know. That's a little sentimental. I think it's probably more true to life. Why would you think of Janis Joplin that often? When you think of her, it'd be like watching a slow motion car crash. You know, you wouldn't want to think about it that much. It's a tragic life. A lot of it, of course, wasn't her fault. Apparently, this is university yearbook or whatever. I think it was university. Some chimp who should have been nowadays. I think they would have, and rightfully so, dismissed from the university, voted her the ugliest man on campus. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
If that guy's still alive, someone should get him and verbally force with him.
Yeah.
Shame on you, you useless puke. Yeah. So she was not born with what people consider looks in our society, but she had some talent. She's not my favorite singer. Too much yammering. There's Lester Bangs that came up that. The guy like the Rolling Stones. Then he thought they became passé, and he graduated to cheering for, so this is in the early 70s, heavy metal and punk, and it's punk. But he said, I wish that yammering B word, called Janis Joplin, would just shut up. I'm going, yeah, but do you like Van Morrison? What's the difference? he kind of yammers a lot, and so on and so forth. But I think with Lester Bangs, there was a little bit of double standard there, a little bit of sexism. But what do you expect from a guy who graduates from the Rolling Stones to heavy metal to punk? Anyway, poor Lester Bangs, he died early and not very glorious death. Can't remember what it was from. Maybe he was drug overdose. Anyway, if it wasn't Lester, he actually wrote pretty well. He had some sort of an education and he didn't mind flaunting. I like the reviewers who like that. John Ned Middleton was, I think, my favorite. He had a sense of humor. So did Lester Bangs, but he was cool. John Ned Middleton had a group called Christopher Milk. And the first album was Some People Will Drink Anything. So, John Ned Middleton, if you're still alive, I wish you'd become a huge rock and roll star. Because you would have been so much better, you know, like his review of, I think it was Led Zeppelin's first album, was absolutely cruel. You know, he said, it's rumored that Robert Plant sings notes only dogs can hear. Oh, John Ned. I like the way he put it in his middle. You know, he didn't have the look. He looked like a little Jewish fellow and stuff like that, but like a lot of Jewish fellows, he actually had some learning and some talent, especially when it came to writing. Yeah, my favorite rock and roll reviewer. He did some reviews for Rolling Stone, more for Cream, I think. Anyway, man who loved women, you know, like, I don't know. I definitely don't buy this, but check it out of your library, whatever. Get it on Netflix. But maybe don't bother with a man who loved women. You find out a little bit about the 70s, you know. Like, this guy's, you know, like they show him typing in his study or office or whatever. And you see right in the middle of where the camera is focused, but in the background, R.M. And I couldn't make it. It starts with an R. What is that? R? Oh, it's Rilke, because it's on the side and all that sort of stuff. And so that's Rainer Maria Rilke. I'm going, yeah, oh wow. You're trying to make him seem like really flashy or something like that. Rilke might be the best poet that I've run across in any language.
Well, he was supposed to be a reader.
Yeah, I know. And I guess there's no person could be a sophisticated reader and not be anything like a sophisticated writer.
Yeah.
But I expect from a sophisticated reader for them to be less boring. Because one of the problems that made this movie boring was this guy had a boring life. He was like Bill Wyman. So, you know, the Rolling Stones early on in the 60s, they had 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm. Good
They
estimate.
did a survey of the members of their group. And it was how many women they'd scored. And it was Charlie Wyman, or Bill Wyman, their bass player, who at that point in time was as homely as a hop toad. He eventually had, looked like numerous surgeries that made him look somewhat passable. But, and, you know, not one of the best bass players in the world. He was the one who was setting the record. And then, of course, Mickey Mouse Jagger was second. And let me see. No. Yeah, I think it was Brian Jones, actually, the wild and crazy. I'm sure he's bipolar. Guitar player. And then Mickey Jagger. And then, so kind of in the middle there. And then Keith Richards, it was something like 4, I think, you know, which is shocking. And then, what they had, Charlie Watts, their drummer, virgin. Poor Charlie. He ended up, I think, marrying a sophisticated woman or something like that. And I'd like to think he remained true to her, you know. But he didn't have to. I know what Bill Wyman would have been doing was scoring chicks who were trying to make it ultimately through him to Mick Jagger or something like that. Maybe they were hoping for a threesome. I'm not sure what. Anyway, a French Connection. We'll just deal with that quickly. Pretty good movie. maybe could have been better. It's kind of dealing with the French Connection at a very superficial level. It's about catching some of the bad guys. One of the most significant things about it is shows what these bad guys, I guess it's kind of based on something like true incidents. They get slaps on the wrist, stuff like that. That's what happens when you go after the mafia. So French Connection was a mafia, and might still exist, a mafia drug connection that extended all the way from France via Marseille into Florida, Miami, Tampa, and from there in New Orleans, and from there into Houston, and then Dallas. So their influence spread too, because one of them, almost certainly, the head of it, Michel Mertz, was involved in assassinating Kennedy. How much time? A minute?
3.
3 minutes left. Oh, well, I can talk about this a bit more.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman always puts in a great performance. This was after Bonnie and Clyde. I don't know if that's where he broke through, but I think he played one of the Parker gang. Is that what it is? Bonnie and Clyde Parker, the Parker gang. And he did a great job there. I've never seen him do a bad job. I have to say that I've never seen him play anything other than something like Gene Hackman. And I shudder to think he was like the roles he tended to play in real life. But, he kind of had a sickly sweet smile, small little smile, and stuff like that. A bit of a sense of humor. Funny thing is, speaking of sense of humor, it's almost like he and Roy Scheider is this thin, adult-looking face. We're like a non-comic comedy team. So this guy played by Gene Hackman, who's called Jimmy, is called, in many cases, Popeye. And he's kind of got this round face and whatever. A bit of a comedy team, but believe me, this is a serious drama. And it's a good car chase scene. I've seen better, like some of the crazy. One of my favorites was, what was that one in The Hangover, where the monkey was involved?
Mm-hmm.
There have been some good ones. I mean, you usually get your money's worth. Well, not in the theater anymore, but something like your time money's worth in watching the Tom Cruise things, Mission Impossible, so on and so forth. So almost any adventure flick nowadays has a great car chasing. Sometimes you'll see motorcycles or whatever, so on and so forth. So I don't know if it won any Academy Awards. Oh yeah, won the 571 Academy Awards: Best Picture, Directing, Actor. So that's Hackman. Hackman did a great job. Adapted screenplay and film editing. So I guess it was adapted from maybe a novel. Anyway, Roy Scheider, I thought, did a pretty good job here. Generally get roles where he's playing something like a tough guy. I think one of his roles he was playing a dance choreographer, but apparently very heterosexual. I can't remember what it was called. He did a great job on that one. I think that was him. Anyway, how long is this? It doesn't say.